What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Culture Effect Podcast Show. We have a very special guest here with us today, Dr. Diana Watley. I've been knowing her for a long time. It's been some years, so I'm excited to catch up with her and learn about everything she's been having going on. And it's going to be a great conversation. So you all stay tuned. We will be right back.
Go. 1, 2, 3. It's a huge.
Yes. All right. So that was the Albany State University Marching Band, which is where Dr. Diana Watley went to college at. So I'm excited about this. So let's go ahead and get into it. Dr. Watley, give us a little bit of your background information before going to your HBCU.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Okay.
I'm so excited to be here with you today, Drina. It's been quite some time, but for those that don't know me, my name is Dr. Diana Watley. Before I was Dr. Diana Watley, I was just Diana Watley, a native of the city of Atlanta. I attended Frederick Douglass High School for high school. And this is like here is my city where I live and will forever be. And it's just been a great journey, Adrena. And so I'm excited to share more with your guests about me and my journey.
Yes, I love it. So you went to Albany State University, the Golden Ram. So, I love everything about the HBCU culture, the Black Greek culture. I'm from Tuskegee University. So we had that clip point of the Golden Ram. So what inspired you to attend Albany State University?
So let me preface it right. The unthinkable, the unsinkable.
Okay.
Albany State University Golden Rams. I got to lay it out right. You know how we go hard for our HBCU.
Get us together.
Yeah, so we have to say it how it's supposed to be said. But I went to Albany State University in '99. My sister was there and my brother was there. And so after my first year, both of them were gone, and Albany State became my own thing. I mean, let me tell you something. What would I do without the blue and gold? I tell people that going to Albany State University really grew me up. I encourage everybody, no matter where you're from, even if you go an hour away from home, first choose an HBCU, to just get away. And so Albany State University is, I pay homage to it. I grew up, I became a woman in Albany. I go homecoming from time to time. And I don't know that most people know this, but I was actually co-founder of which is now 21 years in the running. Our basketball dance team is called the Platinum Divas. So, Adrena, when we got there, you couldn't try out for Passionettes. Those young ladies that you seen dancing, you couldn't try out if you were a freshman when I got there in '99. So I said, I danced at Douglass the whole 4 years. I said, no, I am going to be on the dance team. So we started the Platinum Divas. And I believe my second month pregnant, they honored us, myself and the captain. I was the co-captain. They honored us for 20 years that dance team had been around. We went down to Albany and got honored in the whole nine. So it's been a joy. I love my Golden Rams.
Wow, I love it. So the Platinum Diva. So that was that was
yeah.
Wow. I love it. I love it. And that's the beauty about going to an HBCU or really any college, but HBCU was like that leadership and being able to you saw a void, there was a need that needed to be filled, and you found a solution for it. So I love, and they're still around. I have to go look them up on YouTube now. The
Go look
Platinum
up on
Divas.
YouTube. Yes, ma'am. They're still around. I should have sent you my picture. I actually have the picture. They caught us walking away. Like I said, I was 2 months before. You couldn't really tell, but I was 2 months pregnant with my daughter, and they honored us. It was just 20 years of service as the founders of the Platinum Divas. Yes.
Wow, I love it. I love it. So, what was one of your most? I know it's probably a lot, but what were a few of your most memorable moments being on the yard at Albany State?
Oh God. Let me tell you this. Let's have a full transparent conversation.
Okay.
So I came from a strict home. My first date was my junior prom. My second date was my senior proms. So when I got to Albany State, it was a wrap. Like I went to every single party my freshman year. There was not one party that I missed my freshman year. And I take that back. I missed one party. It was only because the weather was extremely inclement and we had to just, kind of leave that party alone. But Albany State University, I can't think of one memory. There are too many memories. There are too many memories. I mean, I lived my life. I enjoyed it. I don't think there is a memory bigger than being able to dance 4 years while I was there, and actually graduation day. Even though it was bittersweet, I was ready to come back home to the ATL. But at Albany State, the memories are far few and in between. And but like I said, it grew me up, and I became the woman that I am today based off of my rearing at that university.
I love it. I love it. And it's one of those things where I tell the students now, look, enjoy your time on the yard, because once you leave, I'm like, man, if I could just go back to the yard for a couple, even outside of homecoming, like homecoming not long enough. Like give me a good couple weeks back on the yard just to kind of, just be young again. No worries. So,
No worries. Right.
So after you graduated, where did your degree take you?
So I didn't know if I wanted to teach or if I wanted to go to law school. But one of my mentors said, before you put that financial and time into going, to law school, go work at a law firm to see if that's something you want to do. And I actually did that. I started interning for Albert Mitchell and Associates. They've been around for quite some time. And once I started working for them and interning, that internship turned into a full-time job. But when I seen, and listen, I love Attorney Mitchell, but when I seen all that he was doing to keep his practice up, I decided against, going to law school. And so I got in the classroom, for a minute, and he sat me down, actually 16 years ago, and said, if you weren't doing this, what would you be doing? And I said, probably working with young women. And he said, okay. And right there at that table, we went to lunch, and he helped me start my organization. And like I said, it'll be 16 years this December. And so he really going to intern. I'm thinking that I'm going to find my career path. And I actually did. It just wasn't where God needed me to go. And this man actually helped me get to where I am today, Atlanta's top motivational speaker, the curator of women, and now Dr. Diana Watley. So it's been an extreme blessing. Those are the experiences, though, you get when you get your feet wet and put your feet in the water. And again, back to historically black colleges and universities. That's what that does for you.
Yes, I love it. So it's like you thought you wanted to do one thing, but then you realize that that's not what you want to do. But that decision led you to being who you are today. So let's get into it, because when I met you, it was, I don't even remember. I remember probably your first album, because I'm looking at your kid now. This is 2012. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it had maybe it was out for a couple of years. Maybe I met you when the second one came out. Mm-hmm. But let's get into, you have these empowerment CDs. And the first one is called First Steps.
And I think that's the second one. You Don't Live Here Anymore was the first one. Okay. You're right. I met you on the second one because I remember promoting it with you. Yeah. So that was, what year was that? I don't even remember the year.
That was 2012. And The Girl Get Out Your Feelings was 2014.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So let's get into those albums. What it's full of empowerment, motivation. I love them. So, but tell the audience here, what was the inspiration behind those albums?
So, Adrena, unfortunately, and this is true, they say that if you want to hide something from a Black person, put it in a book, because we don't take the time to pick up and read it. And that's not all Black people, but that's the majority. We don't study to show ourselves approved. Mm-hmm. And so I needed a way to get into the ear gate, get into the mindset. And so if everybody, and we're definitely now living in a microwave society, right? Everybody wants it really quick, and they want to hear it quick, and they want the message to resonate quick. They want their life to change quick. I had to find a way to tap into what everybody wants, right? Or what everybody is doing. And so that's why I ultimately started putting my messages on album form, because now I know you can press play and get your day changed. I know you can press play and have a mindset shift. I know you can press play and get hope for the future. And so that first album I put down, I think I had a couple of features from, a poet, Isna Tatianti, I believe is her last name. And so I just start putting my messages, which I believe God has given me an extreme gift to empower people. I just start putting them down on albums, and it has shown to be extremely successful. And women can just, especially now, you can just simply go to iTunes or Amazon Music or Google Play or Spotify, and you can get the motivation and inspiration you need to keep going and pressing forward. And so all of those collection of albums, have blessed me and have blessed others. And I'm actually working on, I believe this will be my 6th project. Yeah, I think I'm working on my number 6. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And definitely for all the viewers out there, the previous albums, they're still available right there on iTunes. Can they get all
just of them? Just the last one, If You're Woman Enough.
If You're Woman Enough. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. And so that was my most dearest project, to be honest with you, because most people don't know that when I was pregnant with my daughter, I battled extreme depression, severe depression. And so there are messages of hope there, that no matter what's done to you or who does it to you, that God will always give you what you need to keep going and growing. And as a matter of fact, when he give it back to you, it's going to be even greater. And so that message is just super dear to me. But so is this new project coming out that's called The Black Sheep Is Now the Goal.
Yes, the Black Sheep Is Now the Goal. So before we get into that project, let's take it back a little bit to some of those dark times that you had to overcome, and especially with you working with so many different women and empowering and speaking all over the place. What are some of the most challenging things that you find a lot of our young women face today? And what are some tips that you have for overcoming those things, and even from your own personal experience?
A few things. As even when I can remember back to being at Albany State, I was extremely confident, but still didn't know who I was. And so I think that we put our confidence in the wrong spaces. We put our confidence in looks and, what we wear and things of that nature, but we really have no foundational principle to identify who we are as women or as young men. And I think it's important that you study yourself, learn your weak spots, learn what you can tolerate, learn who your friends are. All of those things are important, because ultimately what happens is when we don't know who we are, the world gets to define us. And unfortunately, the world's version of us will not be pretty. And so I would say, number one, learn who you are, young ladies, and understand that you are more than just, and I'm just speaking to the young ladies because I stay in my lane and that's my niche, but you are more than just your face. You are more than just your Brazilian hair. You are more than just your eyelashes and your clothes and your shape. You are more than that. Listen, we are Black women. We are women of standards, of creed. Listen, everything that we touch is turned to gold. And so I would encourage and implore every woman. I don't think I took as much time when I was younger to find out who I was, because when you find out who you are, then I think everything else you don't get in much trouble. You don't have to go date that person and this person, because you're able to align yourself with the right people based off of your belief in yourself.
Oh, I love it. And that's so important. You definitely said a word there, knowing who you are. And that's true. When you know who you are, and especially what you stand for, more specifically what you want out of life, it saves you a lot of time. Like you say, dating those certain type of people and having certain type of friends that really, they don't align with what your vision for your life is. So I love it. I love it. And so even you overcoming depression, because especially in the world we're living in today, so many people who are battling
Mhm.
depression and just going through things. So how were you really able to dig yourself out of that dark space and get to where you are now?
And let me say this. I'm extremely transparent. I believe that that's why I've been able to have the level of success that I've had. Um, I have a strong prayer life, and I have a small support system, but they're strong as well. And so for me, I can remember feeling really and being in the middle of depression, carrying my child. I then lost a contract that I had at an agency where I was a family advocate. So I was like, okay, now what an income coming in. And so for me, my prayer life and knowing what God's promise is for my life and knowing that I still have much more to accomplish and achieve. I think that that's what made me get up. The first track on my last project, If You're Woman Enough, is called Get Dressed for Dinner. And that was a message God whispered in my ear, because when you go back, if you stroll social media, you could not tell that I was depressed, because I got up every single day like I was already where I was praying about, like I was in that place of peace, like I was in that place of joy, like I was in that place of happiness. And so I want to encourage somebody: don't let your physical look like what you're going through. I didn't let that manifest, even though it was manifesting, it was actually happening in real time. I got up every day because I trusted that God was going to get me up out of that thing. But also, I want women to take away more than anything. And this is not why all women get, or people get depressed. But I was in a toxic relationship. And although my daughter Zuri was planned, I didn't plan all the things that would happen. And so now here I am pregnant, and everything, the saying is true, Adrena. If you want to make God laugh, you tell him what you have planned. And so I dismissed the red flags. So I helped myself get into depression. I'm going to be honest with you. I think that oftentimes we don't take responsibility for what we were shown that we didn't look at and that we didn't really react upon. And so had I looked at those red flags, had I seen the signs, had I after I seen the signs, had I acted on it and made a move for the benefit of me and my daughter, then I probably wouldn't have suffered the depression that I suffered. So I want to encourage you that all red flags you're not going to be able to, get away from. Sometimes you have to make the decision to just get up and leave. And because let me tell you something, your peace, your prosperity, your life, your future is bigger than who you are connected to. And if our destinies were connected to the people that God put in front of us, then that we would actually be Siamese twins with them. Unfortunately, our destinies are not. No, fortunately, our destinies are not connected to other people. And so do not be afraid to walk away if it's for your peace, if it's for your joy, if it's for your happiness, or if it's for your prosperity. And so if I could, my dark moments showed me that never to settle, never to give up what you want just to have a momentary something else. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, it's just different. My prayer life though definitely pulled me up out of that thing.
I love it. I love it. And you hit on a point. You say you have a small circle, but they're a powerful circle. And so I want to hit on, the phrase where it says separation or elevation requires separation.
Mhm.
And when it comes to maybe those friends, those old friends that we've had for a while, or old relationships, and a lot of times we get comfortable with these people and situations, and they just, like we said earlier, they're not in alignment with what it is that we're supposed to be doing. So what do you say to those people who, they're in a season of transition and, spiritually, business wise, and they're kind of like, I've been friends with so and so for 10 years, but this person we not on the same page. What do you say to those people?
We used to use the term, back in the day called ride or die. That was the term that talked about our friends and our close friends and our BFF. But don't let your destiny die trying to ride with people. And so, separation, it is required if you're going to elevate. You can't take everybody with you. That's why they often say that, the higher you go, that the air gets thinner. It's harder to breathe because everybody can't go to the top. I also put it in an analogy of chickens and eagles. Chickens and eagles can't fly. An eagle can, but unfortunately, you have eagles, people with great potential, people with great possibilities, people with great mindsets, people with great gifts and futures trying to kick it with a chicken. So let me differentiate the difference between the two. An eagle can soar. A chicken can flap his wings, but he will only get off ground level. Why is ground level important? Because that's important as it relates to what that chicken is able to see. When an eagle soars, he can soar through the clouds, he can go through the storms, he know how to, maneuver up highs and lows. But a chicken can only see ground level, meaning it only can see what's in front of it. It's perspective, and as a consequence, because it has limited perspective, then you can't expect it to understand what an eagle can see. So to all my eagles out there, all my people who understand that you have a gift and a calling on your life, stop kicking it with chickens when you are an eagle, because chickens take in whatever comes to them, because they also eat off the ground. And so I want to encourage you to do not let someone's attachment to you or the length of time they've been in your life be an indication of their loyalty. Time and loyalty are two different things. And so listen, I have been known, Adrena, as a cutoff queen, because if you cost me my peace, especially now that I'm a mom, I am responsible for my daughter emotionally. And so I can't let my attachments and my choices and the people I elected, because having friendships, that's an election. Having relationships, that's an election. So I can't allow the people I elected to be a part of my life dictate how I respond to myself and ultimately to my daughter, because she's watching me on how to respond. She's watching my responses on how she should be a strong Black woman. And I don't want all this eye rolling and her seeing me go off like, we're not doing that. And so it's important that you understand that your friendships and relationships are important to cultivate. But if it's causing you rift in the sense of haste, and you can't think, and you're crying and you're sad and you're not growing as a result of that friendship, then get some scissors and don't cut them, but cut the cord.
I love it. I love it. I love it. That's some great words of advice for everyone that's watching this and that will hear this. So I love it. So as we get ready to wrap this up, let's talk about you say you have a new project you're working on, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have several new projects. So I'll make the official announcement on your show. So go ahead. What you want to ask?
Let's get into it.
So we talked about my new empowerment album that's coming out, which is entitled "The Black Sheep Is Now the GOAT." It's to all the people who were looked at like you were never amount to anything, or you were outcasted because people seen the giftedness that you didn't see. So I'm excited about that project. I'm excited for all my goats, my Black sheep that are now goats and reigning supreme. And we know what the acronym of GOAT means. It means the greatest of all times. And so I'm excited to release that. But as official announcement, I have a new empowerment show that's actually being considered for networks like Netflix and the Roku channels and things of that nature, called the Empower VIP. So it's the first and only empowerment competition for empowerment speakers. So we're talking like American Idol for empowerment speakers, like The Voice for empowerment speakers. And so we are actually headed towards production. In addition to that, we are shooting a project called The Mogul Mommy, where myself, Tonae Nicole, and Marcelique Lachey are all mommies, but also business owners. And we're showing you how to obtain millionaire and mogul status as mommies, as we're on our way to millionaire and mogul status. So listen, sis, I'm busy. There is no free time. Between my daughter, I tell people all the time, I'm about my Bible, my baby, and my bank account. And so I don't have time. I don't have time for anything, any foolishness. So I'm excited about all the shift that is happening. And I do believe this because I cut the umbilical cord on what wasn't right for my life. And so again, to what we spoke about earlier, don't be afraid to let it go if it means that you'll grow. So those are my projects, sis.
I'm excited for you. I mean, it's always good to see people that you've seen them at different points of their life. And, I've seen you then, I've seen, you went through your season of, darkness, and to see you now getting ready to have a show and like that. This is exciting. I love it.
So listen, if you're 18 years or older and you are a speaker and you have a word and you have a message, go to The Empower. That's THEEMPOW 3R VIP.com. Register. It's free to register and submit us a 60-second video at the Empower VIP at Gmail. And we'll have our live casting call for Atlanta in August, and we'll be hitting Houston and Milwaukee as well. So I'm excited. Let's go.
Yes. One more time. I should have put that. It's the Empowered VIP.
Yeah. THEEMPOW 3R VIP.
Yes, I love it. They can sign up and get casted as a part of the show. I love it. I love it. Congratulations on that. I'm happy for you.
Thanks to you. I love this platform. Whenever I can help you do something, you know how we are. I'm a phone call away.
Yes. We'll get back in touch with each other. Yes. So as we get ready to wrap this up, what are some words of advice that you have for the incoming HBCU students or anybody that's thinking about attending an HBCU?
Don't squander your time. I think I'll close with a story. There was a little boy and a little girl at an amusement park. And the little boy and the little girl, their sister and brother, they look across the park, you guys, right? They see this great big Ferris wheel. So they start rushing and running towards the Ferris wheel. And so as it got closer and closer, they seen the sign that said 50 cents per ride. And so when it got to the line, they was waiting. They seen the people get on the Ferris wheel. They went up and down, round and round. The people waved their hands in the air and like they just don't care. The people got off. And it got closer and closer to the front line. They seen another set of people get on the Ferris wheel. The Ferris wheel went up and down, round and round. The people waved their hands in the air like they just don't care. Another set of people got off. It was finally the brother and sister's turn to ride. The brother reached in his pocket, handed the man 50 cents. The sister reached in her pocket, noticed she had no money. She was so upset, you guys, that she was pouting. She was upset. So the man asked the sister, step out of the line. So the little brother got on the ride. He was taunting and teasing his sister. Aren't you mad you can't ride? He got on the Ferris wheel. She watched him go up and down, round and round. He waved his hands in the air like he just don't care. He got off. And he walked to his sister. He said, aren't you so mad that you couldn't get on the Ferris wheel? She said, I was, until I realized that you just got back off at the same place you started. That's a message for somebody. Do not get caught up in the Ferris wheels of life, in the partying, in the hanging out, in the social media, and trying to be popular, that you look back 3 years from now, 4 years from now, 10 years from now, and you are in the same place you started. So if I can leave you with anything, is that time waits for no man, and it's the most expensive commodity that you can have. So take advantage of it and do something great with it.
That was a word. I love that story. How you brought it all together. I love it. But you've always been great at storytelling and getting the message through. So I love it. So give us your websites and social media and where anyone can find you at.
Absolutely. So all things Diana Watley Enterprises, my motivational speaking, you can find me at dawenterprises.com. For my nonprofit, if you are a mommy starting business, or if you're in need of some assistance starting your business or financial capital, we're doing business showers for mommies. You can find me there at The Mogul Mommy, TheMogulMom.me. That's the actual website. You can find me there. And then if you're an empowerment speaker or seeking, or you're a coach and you have a word of wisdom and guidance, we are actually casting right now for season 2 of the Empower, which is actually being considered for networks all over the place. You can find me and go register at The Empower, THEEMPOW 3RVIP.com.
Yes. I love it. Once again, congratulations on everything that you have going on. And I know everyone will be blessed by this episode and was able to learn some great things for you all. So y'all be sure to check out Dr. Diana Watley. She gave you all her social media. Connect with her, the speaker, sign up for the show. And just like Ann, I promise you, you'll get a new message every day. So
absolutely.
Yes.
Well, it was a pleasure, and thank you so much for having me, sis. We got to do it again soon.